I think 80% of businesses are not paying the right tax in the first place. That's why we need letter of authorities. Because although you're just collecting 3%, the letter of authority push people to comply. If you don't have the letter of authority, this compliance here will fall. Kasi nobody's afraid of being checked. I mean, the letter of authority in itself, whatever you collect from that, pushes compliance. So
Yes, but it pushes compliance. It also can create systems of corruption.
But the thing there, you should solve the problem. You do not create another problem to solve a problem. You should kick everyone to do their job
Okay,
properly.
let me go back to my question.
Paano kung yung businessman, hindi ba pwedeng yung business owner pwedeng ma-check niya kung yung LOA ay nandoon sa system?
I don't think kung may access ang external stakeholders po doon sa system. But meron po kaming system, yung ELAMS, kasi ang mga LOAs naman po natin are electronically generated.
Oh,
so
pero,
meron po tayong system na...
Para ma-check ninyo na kung nasa system.
Kami po malalaman po namin.
Correct. Kayo.
Pag meron hong taxpayer na nagdududa kung yung ba talagang tinanggap niya na letter of authority ay authentic or talagang official, po pwede ho silang pumunta sa opisina namin at
that'll take
i-check
time.
namin.
That'll take time. Naipit na sila. Bago makarating sa inyo ang reklamo, hindi natin alam kung malapit sa inyo o hindi malapit sa UIR o baka yung may kinalaman din yung pagtatanungan niya. Diba? So, meron tayong kasabihan an ounce of prevention is a pound of cure. Beats a pound of cure. Prevention yun. Kung meron kayong system, pag-aralan nyo na maglagay ng system na pwedeng i-check ng business owner kung totoo yung LOA.
Yes.
Imbis na, malaking matulong nun siguro. Senator Aquino, thank you.
Thank you.
Commissioner, nabanggit niyo po kanina, lahat ng LOA moving forward may approval po ninyo.
O yan po ang plano natin na before the LOA is issued, it has to be cleared first by the national office.
Okay, meaning kung meron pong LOA na may issue, na meron pong fraud o meron pong corruption, you are taking this on and you will be responsible for that process.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes, so I commend you for that, Attorney Mendoza. Mabigat po yan because 62,000 po yan, napakarami pong cases po niyan. Now, ano po yung nais po natin makita? Unang-una, sana po wala na sa RDO ang kapangyarihan to audit on their own. And if you are taking this on, I would commend you for that, no? So ngayon po ang commissioner na mismo, meron na ring responsibilidad sa pagpili ng mga pwedeng ma-audit. So number one, okay po yan. Baka pwede po at the RDO level, we can institute a truly random manual audit, no? We've been talking about this for a long time. Na at the smaller area, it's truly randomized. Meaning wala pong mga pinag-iinitan o mga favorite na sinasabi nila. It's really random. The assessment is made and if an audit is done and there's a proper payment, they cannot be audited again for 3 to 5 years. Hindi ho ba in the previous administration may ganong klaseng programa na may 3 to 5 years na hindi ka pwedeng ma-audit? Si Attorney Lumagi was raising his hand. Meron po ba?
In connection with that po yung random na audit po. During my time kasi po yung focus po na ginagawa natin ay yung one of the focus areas digital transformation or yung digitalization. Ang isa pong ginagawa po natin, we were trying to make that yung tax modernization program, and we started it a few years ago yung automated audit selection program, meaning wala pong human intervention ang pagpili ng LOA, and we started it because the entire tax modernization program has not yet finished and marami pang problema sa mga data kaya hindi po namin magawa 100%, but during my time we started with 30% of the issuance ng isang supposedly isang like dito sa Batas. 30% po niyan dapat automated at walang human intervention ang pipili because of the meron po kasing criteria kung papaano ka po pa dapat ma-audit. Hindi naman ito walang kumbaga this is not entirely discretionary. Meron pong set criteria kung paano ka masasama sa audit. Like kunyari may below benchmark ka, subject ka for audit, may mga enumerated yan doon sa operations memorandum. So in-encode po yan sa computer para kapag ka-submit ng mga financial statements ng mga kumpanya, automated po, computer ang pipili. But again, since hindi pa perfect yung system, kaya talagang titingnan pa rin may manual audit selection.
Commissioner, is this connected to the fake receipts program or iba pa po ito sa fake receipts program?
Iba pa po yan. Yung sa fake receipts po kasi may nahuli tayo na yung sindikato po na nagmamanufacture, ang negosyo po talaga nila ay magtayo ng maraming kumpanya that would cater to all businesses. Iba't ibang industriya po yan. Ang negosyo talaga nila ay magbenta lang ng resibo. Ang bumibili ng mga resibo nila ay yung mga negosyante na gustong mandaya ng buwis by using these fake invoices to pad up their expenses as input VAT and as expense sa kanilang income tax. Okay. So yan po yung nahuli natin, tapos ginamit po natin lahat ng mga data niyan, and that's where we partnered with the Ateneo Math Department na gumawa ng algorithm para mahuli po yung mga gumagamit ng mga peking resibo.
Okay.
So iba po yun.
What you're saying is with the proper use of technology, hindi kailangang random, pwedeng AI supported yung pagpili ng mga posibleng hindi nagbabayad ng buwis. That's what you're saying, no?
Yes po. That is really the aim. 100%
Okay.
na fully automated ang audit selection.
Okay. Attorney Kim?
I was reading their audit program. It did not put what situation you will be audited. No? So it just said it will be chosen by the system. No? But if you look at a system, the parameters should be inputted by individuals. So if you look at the audit program, the most recent, there's no such parameter. And then I'd just like to point out, this is the complaint of most taxpayers. No? It seems like the BR doesn't understand that business is a cycle. Today you might earn money, next year you might lose money. And just because you lost money, they will already say that hindi ka nagbabayad na tama. I mean, we should also understand the cyclical nature of businesses, no? So having just discrepancies, yeah, in a sense that there's a parameter, but you should study the industry also, no? Because the industry might not be doing well this year. So if it fell, why would you, right? So that's why some businesses felt that they're being harassed just because they did not increase their tax payment or revenue from previous year. But business is not like that. So yun problema, no? And I think those are the input that should be in the choosing of and about your question about not auditing after you audit. That's precisely my time. We did an audit program where we said you can audit only a taxpayer 2 consecutive years. You cannot audit the 3rd year unless you say he has committed fraud. Or if you audit him, your assessment should be big. If it's small, you have to explain why are you choosing him? Why did you choose him again for the 3rd year? And in that program also, we have a statement there that you should put all taxpayers who have never been audited in a parang tambiolo, no? And choose from it who you will audit, because you want just to make sure that they're in compliance. Not so much that you're saying that they're not complying. It's just to put them on their toes, no? That from time to time you will get audited.
That's a good point. Let me ask si Attorney Charlie. Meron na bang nalowa na tama ang kanilang pagbabayad ng buwis?
Okay ko naman po.
Meron naman po.
Yeah,
out of the
I'm sure
62,000.
Yeah.
Pinuntahan na examiner, tama ang binayad, at sabi, check, tama po kayo. Meron naman po.
May na-audit ho na wala namang findings.
Yes.
Meron din po.
Meron din.
Meron din po.
Okay, sige. So ano yung, maybe to wrap up, no? Ano yung mga nais natin makita? Unang-una, thank you, Commissioner, na inaako ninyo yung responsibilidad na any LOA from now on needs your approval, no? Because right now, kung meron na pong mag-complain sa amin, alam na ho namin kung sinong pupuntahan, no? And in fact, Mr. Chairman, if we have a second hearing, I would really suggest we have the Philippine Chamber of Commerce. We have the different MSMED councils kasi yung maliliit na negosyante po, sila po yung pinaka natatakot kapag nilalapitan po sila. No, our micro and small enterprises, feeling po nila walang mapuntahan, walang mahinga ng tulong. Sila po yung pinakatakot na takot kapag merong nangongorap po sa kanila. We invite the Chinese Chamber. Alam niyo po yung Chinese Chamber, they will say openly, ease of doing business. May problema kami sa ease of doing business. Pero pag kayo-kayo lang, ang sasabihin nila, corruption po ito. Pero hindi ho yan masabi namin hindi ho namin yan masabi in public. Ang sasabihin namin in public, ease of doing business yung problema namin. But they actually mean corruption. So, Mr. Chairman, if we can actually we invited them but they're not here, no? If we can ask them to come and they can represent the businesses that they represent para makapag-usap po tayo ng maayos. Now, yung random audits po, lessening the power of individuals or the RDOs and the examiners to choose kung sino po yung ma-audit, I think that's welcome. For Secretary Go, ito pong nilolowa po natin, magkano po ba talaga ang pinag-uusapan natin dito na koleksyon? Is it a huge amount compared to the total collections that we need as a country? Or maliit lang po ito?
Mr. Chair, the total collections from these so-called enforcement activities are as follows. In 2023, 63 billion. In 2024, 85 billion. And in 2025, as of October, 78 billion. Roughly po, this is about, well, Attorney Lumagi earlier said that it's roughly around 3% of total collections in recent years.
Okay, it's 3%. Sa tingin niyo po ba understated? Malaki rin siya, hindi po siya maliit na pera. Malaki rin po siya. Do you think, Secretary, that those numbers are understated, meaning it should have been higher, or do you think it should have been lower? Ano pong tingin niyo po? Mr. Secretary.
Mr. Chair, I think it's very hard to speculate. That's a very hypothetical question that I think is quite difficult to respond.
Sige po, maybe a more direct question. Secretary Go, you're of course very known in the business world, in the business sector. Meron din po sigurong lumapit sa inyo at nag-complain tungkol sa BIR.
Absolutely, sir. As a Special Assistant to the President for Investment and Economic Affairs for almost 2 years, the biggest complaint of every investor that has come through my office is the BIR.
Investor meaning foreign firms or local firms?
Both, sir, but mostly foreign.
Foreign, okay. At ito pong mga moves po natin, including this hearing, this is trying to address these concerns, Mr. Secretary. At 3% of collection, kung 3% po yan ng collection, is there a way for us, if more taxpayers just had an escalation every year, I'm sorry, I'm going to talk policy and hypothetical. If taxpayers agreed to have an escalation every year in terms of their tax payments, can that excuse them from a LOA?
I think that may not be following the law po.
So we can't, but of course, that's why we're here. We can of course amend the law. But would that be feasible? Kunyari, if I escalate at 5% increase, I'll ask Attorney Kim kasi she's shaking her head. Hindi ho yan sound na policy.
Yeah.
Kunyari, I'm a taxpayer. In-audit ako ngayon, 10 million. Next year, I agree to increase that by 5% or based on GDP or what. And then that saves me from talking to the BIR, for example. Can a program like that be instituted or that's not possible right now?
Mr. Chair, the tax rates are very specific in the law. For example, the corporate income tax rate is very specific. The value-added tax rate is likewise very specific. So I think to increase based on, for example, in your example of GDP, would probably be prejudicial to those whose businesses have actually gone down, and would be a reward to those businesses who actually have done extremely well.
Better.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
I get that, Mr. Secretary, but tingin ko po even for the businesses na medyo lower, just to make sure na hindi ako kakausapin ng BIR, willing ako magbayad ng premium. No? I mean, ganun ang nangyayari po ngayon. And that's common right now to many businesses. No? But I guess what you're saying is the laws don't allow for this yet.
Yes, Mr.
Okay.
Chair.
Attorney Kim?
Because your presumption is that he's paying the right tax in the first place. But unfortunately, I think 80% of businesses are not paying the right tax in the first place. That's why we need letter of authorities. Because although you're just collecting 3%, the letter of authority push people to comply. If you don't have the letter of authority, this compliance here will fall. Kasi nobody's afraid of being checked. I mean, the letter of authority in itself, whatever you collect from that, pushes compliance. So
Yes, but it pushes compliance. It also can create systems of corruption.
But the thing there, you should solve the problem.
Mhm.
You do not create another problem to solve a problem. You should kick everyone to do their job
Okay,
properly.
let me go back to my question earlier. Kasi po, sa palagay ko kung mailantad po natin yung mga naloa at ma-analyze natin ng maayos, mas makikita talaga natin kung ano po yung ugat ng mga problemang lumalabas ngayon. Of course, the Secretary and